Why do people typically go to a gym? To increase their strength, their flexibility, endurance? Or maybe to increase muscle mass to communicate to people how big the fish was that they just caught? Wasn't that big? The reason is irrelevant because there's an underlying factor that unifies all of these contrasting goals: to make yourself uncomfortable. Oftentimes we are greeted with uncomfortable situations that pop up, and typically we avoid them. Our nervous system responds automatically to the external stimuli. It runs the program that we are so comfortable with: fleeing. It is the easy way out. If we can just avoid the issue long enough, maybe it'll work itself out or go away naturally. But emotions seldom get solved by just ignoring their existence. So we decide to face them. Being uncomfortable is the only way we can grow past our own breaking points. This is a fundamental principle that is true across all different scenarios within life. Say you're someone who has always possessed weakness in the form of muscular strength. You aim to grow those muscles by putting them through rigorous and strenuous circumstances. Only through this repetition will your muscles adapt to heavier weight as you expose them to uncomfortable situations. The same can be said for increasing tolerance around individuals that scare you. Regardless of why you're afraid, being exposed to them can show you that there is no reason to be. That the idea of them is far scarier than who they actually are. This is actually called exposure therapy, and it works wonders for any kind of fear. Someone who is afraid of spiders, for example, may hate even being in the same room as a spider. I'm one of them. And for exposure therapy, they figure out how much of a spider they can tolerate, and then they do that minimum. So 1 week it may be just looking at a picture of a spider, then being in the same room as a spider. Gradually the exposure is increased until the fear has diminished. The same can be said for ideas that challenge our deep-held beliefs. Often our beliefs create a safe bubble, simulating an echo chamber where no new thoughts can come in. Fearful that any radical form of thought could recontextualize the way we see the world, ending in the demise of our safe space bubble that we built up for so long. Only in exposing ourselves to the hardships of life can we hope to strengthen our resilience to them. If you can't accomplish a bicep curl with 40 pounds, then start with 10 pounds. Start somewhere, but just start. Don't give up. Push yourself beyond your current capacities so that you are feeling something other than comfort. Push yourself beyond your current capacity so that you are feeling something other than comfort. Get out of your own comfort zone so you can expand it. Think of yourself as a really fast car, but for some reason you decide your zone of comfort can only allow you to go up to 40 miles per hour. That zone is only dictated by how far you are willing to push yourself, not what you are actually capable of. So you only believe that you can feasibly handle what is within the parameter because you have never really challenged yourself. So let's say one day a new opportunity presents itself where it requires you to go 60 miles an hour. But because the fear of being uncomfortable is far stronger than your own potential, the zone of comfort wins. And the saddest part is that you never realize that you are actually a Lamborghini and you can go up towards 220 miles an hour or more. But you choose to stay within your own predetermined range, your own cage. The main culprit to keeping ourselves within our own comfort boundaries is ourselves. But how can we expand our circle of comfort? How can we be comfortable with being uncomfortable? One way is to embrace what Julian Smith coins as the flinch. They state that you must embrace the flinch in order to progress. In the book, Julian states the flinch as to draw back or shrink, as from what is dangerous, difficult, or unpleasant, to shrink under pain, wince. It is the anticipation before the hit, before the confrontation, before breaking up with your significant other. It is the little voice in the back of your head keeping you from getting hurt. It is this flinch that we must embrace. You'll know you've opened the right door when you feel a strong, irresistible impulse to do something else, anything else. This usually means that you're right at the threshold of something important, and you need to pay attention and keep going, now. In doing so, you will widen your circle of comfort. The book goes on to say how you can increase your tolerance for discomfort at home with a simple exercise: taking cold showers. It is one of the few things you have control over at home where you can embrace your flinch without fear of doing something irreparable. The idea is right before you immerse yourself in cold water, you experience the flinch. You say how stupid this is, talk yourself out of it, and attempt making it more comfortable by increasing the temperature. But by staying within that cold water, you start realizing that your perception of the situation was far worse than its actual reality. Thus, next time you emotionally engage in something that you find difficult, you will remember your cold shower and how the flinch may not have changed, but your tolerance for discomfort has. If being uncomfortable is an emotion that we avoid, then we will never prosper past our own limitations. Never growing, never being better than who we were yesterday, never accomplishing, never overcoming obstacles. Excuses for why we cannot accomplish or try new things will replace our resilience to something new. And we need to be careful that we do not use excuses or reasons as our roadblocks. Without being consciously aware of our own proclivity, we will set up our own roadblocks, ensuring that we do not have to deal with discomfort. We must hold ourselves accountable for the way we are feeling over situations and expose us to ideas and people that may make us uncomfortable. Otherwise, what good are we if we only expose ourselves to what's easy? Don't take the weights out of the gym. They're there for a reason. I leave you with 2 quotes from a book I just read recently, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And if you want to know anything about being uncomfortable, pushing yourself past your limits, read this book. It's not that the punch has lost power. Your opponents will be even stronger. The change has happened within your brain. You've calloused your mind. Over a period of time, your tolerance for mental and physical suffering will have expanded because your software will have learned that you can take a hell of a lot more than one punch. And if you stay with any task that is trying to beat you down, you will reap rewards. I know how it feels to be approaching an energetic dead end. I've been there too many times to count. I understand the temptation to sell short, but I also know that impulse is driven by your mind's desire for comfort, and it's not telling you the truth. It's your identity trying to find sanctuary, not help you grow. It's looking for status quo, not reaching for greatness or seeking wholeness. But the software update that you need to shut your governor down is no supersonic download. It takes 20 years to gain 20 years of experience, and the only way to move beyond your 40% is to callous your mind, day after day, which means you'll have to chase pain like it's your damn job.